All right. Well, I got to start with the one that I think Matt will like, and maybe I can convince Mark to dip his toes in the water here. But we're going over to the forex market, and what we're going to look at is
hold on. Pull up
oh, he's gone.
a
He's
1
gone.
minute EMA crossover on a 3 minute EMA. Let's see what we can find.
All right.
Oh,
We're going to look at the US dollar CAD pair. For everything that we were talking about with the dollar breakdown, gold moving up,
Okay.
we had the US dollar get a nice little pullback, and now we're starting to see a red candle formation with the stimulus coming in. If they add more money to it, that's going to drive the dollar down more and add some strength in a lot of the currencies that have gold backing. I think this is a nice, easy trigger below the 20, below the 9, and go from there.
so short dollar, long CAD. Obviously, that's a cross pair
Yes.
forex. This is something that Cody does our forex report on a weekly basis over at Tackle Trading. Appropriate to bring up a forex pair. Mark quickly took the opportunity to take and go get a little break there and find a snack because I'm sure he's not a forex guy here. But Cody, I see the technicals. I got a couple of questions though. Where's your trigger? How do you set a stop? Map it out for me because it's a pure directional play. No options,
Yes.
no
Yep.
theta, no nothing obviously in the
Nothing
forex market
fancy.
on that. So where's your play here?
My play is the other thing is I usually don't take directional trades in the forex market at the back end of the week. So today being a weird day with Christmas coming up, Merry Christmas everyone. I wouldn't be taking this trade today. This would be a trade I would set up for Sunday night or Monday morning. And where that's going to be also depends on where this closes today. So we have the movement down. It looks like it's starting to bottom a little bit on the intraday chart. So if we were to look, let me just zoom in right there. If it does close below the 20, then I would be going below this candle's low. If it doesn't close below the 20, I'm actually going to be probably setting that trigger a little bit below the 9 EMA.
Yeah, I think on this one, I see what you're saying. I definitely believe you have an edge here, Cody. A little bit of a deeper retracement. Obviously, we had some volatility with the UK this week, and that kind of impacted these retracements a little bit. A little bit of overreaction. Just look at the bridge pound if you want to understand the overreaction to the COVID situation. Literally has recovered all of the price on the bridge pound just in 2 days. And so I definitely have a bearish lean on the dollar. There's no doubt about that. And I kind of feel like it's pick your currency you want to play here, right? Because they're all kind of trade with one another. I do like the CAD here. It's got a little bit of a nice little, gold kicker, a nice little oil kicker on that. So I kind of feel like I'm shorting fiat and buying like pegged currencies when they're not pegged, right? They're just tied to their economic value, but still it matters. The only thing I'd say is your trigger here is a little difficult. It's hard to trigger underneath the low of today, and it's hard to trigger really anything above, I'd say 128.20 here. I mean, if you wanted to get a little bit more additional confirmation, get it underneath that 128 level, right?
128.20 is exactly where the 9 is.
Yeah. And so I like it underneath that 128, kind of 128.20 level. That gets you underneath that zone right there. That way you can get in above 120, above 128, because if you wait for 128, you're going to have reward to risk problems is what you're going to have, because you got to target 127 here. I mean, you can't target above underneath 127. So I like it and this would be a 1 to 2 day trade, right, Cody? I mean, we're not talking.
Yeah, you'd be in and out of this. You would get this kind of move just really quickly that would run down there, and you're in and out quick. Done.
So I like this, Cody. So all right, T1 at 127, entry underneath 128.20. Stop place has to be above, in my opinion. Minimum's got to be above 128.65, probably 128.85 though. And so you're taking about 60 pips for about 120 risk there. It's a good day, quick swing trade there, and that's what the forex market is these days.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I did look at some of the other cross pairs like the Aussie and New Zealand, which also have strong correlations to gold. And the Aussie, I think, might have an easier trigger to get into. I just think that the first target's a
It's
little
the
bit too
chop.
close, you'd have to
Yeah.
go for the second target at 77. So I
Honestly,
just think
Cody,
the CAD has the
go ahead.
easier quick trigger than the Aussie does. And the same thing with the New Zealand dollar, which has been, one of the hottest currencies lately, is just where it breaks. Like, I don't think there's enough in there to really do it unless you're looking for a T2.
Yeah, from a trading perspective, I definitely agree with you there, because I do like the New Zealand and the Aussie dollar a little bit more than the CAD, because I like the gold kicker over there a little bit more than the CAD does, with more of an oil kicker. But I do like all three of those currencies right now. But from a trading perspective, I'm not sure you can map something out on the New Zealand dollar and the Australian dollar right now.
No, I don't think you can.
I
Nope,
think
I agree.
I think you're waiting for more consolidation on those two currencies, with a breakout ultimately above the higher end of those ranges. Because you take the New Zealand dollar for a second, and guys, you can take the analysis me and Cody are talking about on the currency and apply it to whatever you're looking at too.
Yeah.
But I like it, like the trigger on New Zealand above that 71 level. I think that's the cleaner trigger here, and I don't think it's debatable. But you got a tight distance to that 70 level, because you're not going to get it at 71. You're going to get it at 71.20, and you're going to put a stop loss at 70.50, and you just don't have the reward to risk ratio necessary. And if that 71.70 level was just a wick, I would discount that. But that 71.70 level is not just a wick. You had a ton of intraday data right there that you have to be concerned about. So I'm a yes. 1 to 2 day trade, aggressive little
in the
chop.
CAD.
In the CAD, I'm a yes.
All right.
It's aggressive though. It's aggressive, and only for currency traders. But yeah, I'm a yes.
I got him.
You got me.
The standard was raised, and I still got him.
Yeah.
So was this the one you had? Did you have a stock one as well? Or
I do have some stock. So I know that some of our students out there are like, all right, Forex is Forex. Okay, let's move on. So I will move on. I know Mark left, so he doesn't have anything to it. Tim, I know
all you stock traders. So hold on real quick, Cody. All you stock traders, stop discriminating against us currency traders.
Tim, I know that every once in a while you make a currency trade.
Once in a blue moon.
He'll spot.
Once in a blue moon. By the way, less in 2020 than I had in years past. I used to trade a lot more Forex actually, Cody, and it can come and go in different markets. I'm more open-minded to trade anything that starts popping up and getting exciting and whatnot. So yeah, I see the trade here. I like the way that you guys map that out. So good.
Awesome. Good to know. All right, let's go into some of my stock picks. I think I'm going to go with the banks. So the banks are having some nice breakouts right now. So there are three different banks that I'm looking at. JP Morgan's kind of already, broken above that level. Bank of America has a break as well.
Quickly, Tim, did we hear that the banks can re-engage stock buybacks this week?
The Fed
that was the news, right? The Fed did make that announcement.
It's huge news.
All right, that's huge news for the banks. Okay, I just wanted to clarify, Cody. I'm sorry.
So we have the breaks that are already happening on JP Morgan and Bank of America. So one of the dogs of the banks that's hasn't been doing as well also has a pattern setting up, and actually this morning when I looked at it, it hadn't broken yet. Looks like it's breaking right now. I know that Wells Fargo is kind of one of the dogs of the banks, but I think that with the break and a previous level of resistance being pretty clear here, I think this is a clean chart. Could I convince either of y'all to do a directional breakout on Wells Fargo?
What are you doing from a strategy perspective? Are you looking at just call option? I mean, we're talking banks. Volatility is not going to be crazy in it. I mean, I would have no concern just buying a call option on a $30 stock on a bank.
That's actually exactly what I was thinking. Just a straight call option, maybe even do 2 or 3 of them. And once it gets up there, you spread it out. Make it zero risk trade as soon as you get up to that point. And then if it continues after that, I mean, if it can break above this level here, there's nothing really slowing it down for the next level. So if you can say buy 3 call options, you get the move there, you spread out one of them so you still have an open-ended risk graph, then you could have a zero risk trade with potential upside if it continues throughout 2021.
So you looked at 3 banks, or you looked at many banks, and you like the 3 you showed us, but you just settled on Wells Fargo. Is that right?
Yes, because I feel like the other ones have already started their move, where I think, and this morning when I was looking at Wells Fargo, it hadn't actually broken yet. So it was kind of the catch-up play.
Well,
So
Wells Fargo
banks
has
are
the
all,
best trigger of the banks,
yes, exactly,
right?
exactly.
So Tim, to answer your question,
It's
if you want to
clearest.
take a look at the competitors to Wells Fargo, you're looking at Bank of America, Citibank, and you're looking at JP Morgan, right? So take a look at Bank of America very quickly. So you're seeing a little bit something similar on Bank of America that you're seeing on JP Morgan, but you do not, and again, I like it above 30. I like most things above 30. 30 is the new 100, or 30 is the new 50, but you like it, and I would fault nobody for taking anything on Bank of
Oh, absolutely
America.
not.
Just in comparison, if you do, and I like Bank of America from a company perspective far more than I like Wells Fargo. Far more than I
Absolutely.
like Wells Fargo.
Absolutely.
But Wells Fargo, you look at Wells Fargo here, and you look at a horizontal trigger that is clean, right? Like look at it on a 30-minute chart very quickly,
Yep.
or an hour chart, either one.
Matt's making my case for me.
Look at the clean nature of that $30. And that chop you see, that's all overnight weekend action, guys. That's the COVID. That was the passing of the stimulus. That was the variant coming out of the UK. I'm discounting that. I like anything above 30 here on Wells Fargo. And out of all of them, I like the JP Morgan one. I think if you're looking for a quick hitter, the JP Morgan one's probably a little bit better, but I like the pure technical nature of the Wells Fargo trade.
Yeah, I think there's no way to critique that part of it because of the technicals. I just hate that company, Wells Fargo, so much. I mean, I'm so biased.
You had a
against
bias
it.
on it?
Oh, absolutely. There's not even a question. That is one that I could rant on for sure. Not a fan. Not a fan. So
not a fan.
If it's me, I'm probably leaning on JP Morgan here. Just because of momentum. I know it's already kicked up. And by the way, they did announce that they're going to participate in a share buyback program in the first quarter. The very second the Fed released that, they said, we're taking 30 billion and we're going to start our own buyback program, Matt. So I mean, I like this potential here. So
does anybody think Bank of America and Wells Fargo isn't going to do the same thing?
No, they're all going to do it. No,
they're absolutely going to do it. And this is to me, it's also, Wells Fargo is kind of the almost the bottom fishing. So I kind of want to get Mark's
kind of like that too.
Is that it hasn't exactly it hasn't had the recovery that the other two already have. So I think that there's more for Wells Fargo to run than there is for the other two.
Well, it had more hate on it than the others did before the pandemic as well. So and again, my bias is there too, Tim, because I look at Wells Fargo and I get blood in my eyes a little bit, right?
I do. I see red.
But Wells Fargo is not on my no-fly zone.
Right.
Like I just don't like the company.
Just dislike it. Mark, what do you think? I mean, Cody's bank trade here. What's your take?
Clean heart. See, I don't do much swing trading. I either do position trading or naked puts or day trading. For a position trade, for me, it's a little overextended from weekly moving averages. On the plus side, if you pull up a weekly chart, you're going to have a close above the 50 weekly for the first time in a long time. Yeah. And that gives extra credence to a directional trade. It's a little overextended how I like. I'm really conservative on my entry points, but I did sell a naked put at a lower level based on Cody's analysis.
If Mark sold a naked put, we should buy the stock.
Yeah, it means it's going to go to 37.50.
Honestly, it's the same analysis. How many times has Mark complained about how much money he's not making on naked puts, where the directional traders are making all the money?
No,
all the time.
That's a broken record this year.
It's the same analysis.
So that means you might as well just unload the bank and go.
Team Tackle, let me interpret Mark for you for a second. If he has sold a naked put on that analysis, it means it's go time on the breakout.
All right. I like it. Let me get one last one. It sounds like I got some yays for the bank trade.
I like the bank trade. I think it's going to go on one of our reports.
Awesome.
Listen, and there's a nice theme behind it too. Yeah. Like, buybacks back. I mean, that's a good theme. That is a good, solid theme that can promote
Okay,
stability here.
Mark, I got a question for you because you'll know this. How big of a bearish theme was
How
it
big a
when they
bear are you?
removed? Well, when they removed the stock buybacks, when
You know,
the Fed would not allow them to do that.
I mean, you look at how long finance got stuck in the mud. I mean, look at
Yeah.
that Wells Fargo just sludging for months and months and months. Buybacks are dividends back. It is a short-term sustainable theme that could produce a
I
nice
like it.
trend here.
Mm-hmm.
All
I like
right.
it.
I got
think
one
you'll
last one for you.
honestly, Cody, I think you'll see JP Morgan. And again, this is not my call, it's the coach's calls. But I do believe you'll see JP Morgan on the options report and Wells Fargo on the stock
This
report
is exactly
this week.
where my head was. So,
Yeah.
Probably.
We know the coaches, Tim.
yeah, we
Absolutely.
do. We
It's
do.
just gonna
we do.
happen.
Yep.
All right, got one last one for you. Since all of my picks have been kind of in the gold v dollar banking type area, is FCX Metals Company. We've been waiting for this breakout trade here on FCX.
Cody, I need you to map me out. Where's your target? Where do you put it in a stop loss? I need you to detail because I just don't see it here on FCX, Cody.
Don't? Oh.
I just don't see it. Like I don't see
the sarcasm.
Listen, that cleanliness is wow. That's just sexy. I mean, that's just sexy.
And it's a nicely priced chart or
Oh
stock as well.
man.
Like you could put this on the stock report, the option report. I am biased in this because I'm an owner, been an owner for quite some time of FCX, and I have both some covered calls on it and some naked puts
people,
on it.
many people at Tackle Trading own FCX, and they do it for growth. They do it for cash flow reasons, kind of what you just indicated, Cody. But this is a scenario where you're like, once that puppy breaks,
yeah,
we're unleashing. We are not locking down any risk graph here. Unleash the Kraken.
Absolutely.
I love this FCX setup and I love the potential breakout. You got to love the consolidation and the tight level of consolidation over the last 2.5, 3 weeks. The cleanliness of that 2540 breakout. It's just it's easy. You can this is what I like about it. The aggressive trader can say very clearly, let me get an order right there above that 2525 level. Let me just get a standard buy stop limit order, trigger in above the breakout, take the risk for the fake out. You got to like that. For the conservative trader, man, give me a close above 2525 and let me trigger above the intraday high of my choosing. I like this stock. I like this pick, and I think you could wrap a lot of strategies around it as well.